Welcome, everyone. Today's guest is someone who doesn't just talk about growth. She helps people get out of their own way so growth actually happens. And what do I mean by that? Well, she has a background as a research scientist to now helping solopreneurs and professionals break through their limiting beliefs. She's built a method rooted in understanding how we think, how we communicate, and why we self sabotage in the first place. So, if you've ever felt like you know what to do but still can't seem to do it, this is the conversation for you. So, with that, Kira Galmowski, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for asking me to come over. It's my
Yes,
pleasure.
absolutely. Well, Kira, you have your neuroscience background, and we're going to dive into that. You started as a research scientist, right? So, what made you walk away from that and step into this type of work?
Well, it was a kind of journey because in the beginning I started my PhD in the academy. And then when I finished it, I went to startup, electrochemistry startup, creating detective explosive devices. So when the startup broke up, I figured out that I can go to IT because I already had some background in computers and I was always being open for that. So I decided to go to pursue this way, and I spent 16 years supporting developers in MDocs, a part in Israel, part in the America. And so when I was laid off, I had like 20 minutes thinking that, hmm, what I want to do. Now I'm free. And the funny thing that the day when I was laid off, it was the first day when my youngest kid started his work. And so I said, actually, it's a
Perfect
sign.
timing.
Perfect timing. I don't need to do anything for anybody else, just for myself. And because I've been in this area since 2012, almost 12 years, I thought and always trying to figure it out how I can help people. I used to have clients here and there, but not something, let's say, official. And I figured out that this is a time that I will build my own business and I will start and see what will grow up from this. And so I am in this journey, which many people would say it happens suddenly. But the truth, we are creating whatever happening suddenly to us. This is the truth.
100% believe that, right? Like we've been attracting it for years before it happened, manifesting it. But you obviously have some sort of desire to help other people at the same time.
Yes, yes. Through all my career, never mind where I used to work, I was always looking into people behavior and relationship because this is the major thing which is happening to us. Never mind what kind of work we're doing, it's not, it doesn't matter at all because we are humans living on the earth
Yeah.
and we are connected anyways, anyhow. And
Yep.
the relationship, it's most interesting thing and the most beneficial and most burning out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. So I have to ask then, was there a moment in your own life when you realized, like you were the pattern that needed to change?
Yeah. It was in 2010 when I used to work in the MDocs in Israel, and I had very bad relationship with the person who brought me to work, who told me how to make this work, and I tried uh, to address, to put my bosses to help me to navigate this, but nothing worked. And then in some moment, my mom gave me a book, ecological book, which been wrote by doctor. And she
Do you
explained,
remember the name of it?
yeah, the doctor, her name was Lule Vilme. She is from Estonia. But the idea written there, it was more or less like the book was written in the late 80s. And it was about how our sickness related to our psychology state. And I figured out that a lot of stuff that we handling, like I used to look at my dad and see him with a huge stomach, and it's actually corresponding to a psychologist state of him. And I recognize it, and I said like, wow. So through this book, I found out how I can help myself to release this tension that I have to this person because of which I got burnout. And I started to work on myself. So I was my first project, and actually, I still continue to work on myself because this is
Right?
the closest thing that I have and could investigate because anyways I am a scientist and investigator. And if I don't have anybody else to investigate, I investigate it myself.
I love it. Well, we're all our own first project, right? That's how we
Right.
learn. And but we
Right. Right.
definitely, even when we're experts in our field, it's always a good idea to continue to invest and work on ourselves. I mean, we all know the job is never ending.
Right. The time it's just our thoughts most of the time because we are thoughts running creature and
Hmm.
we thought to do that from the beginning of our life, and this is what we do, and everything is just here in the head.
I absolutely. And if you meet my kids, they're 15, 8, and 5. But if you ask them like the one thing that mommy teaches them, that is, you are what you think. So I always
Exactly.
instill that in their head. You are what you think. If you think you're going to have
Yes.
a bad day, you're going to have a bad day. Right. And
Right.
so, especially my 8-year-old now is really getting it. And so he'll be like, okay, I'm going to have a good day because I think I'm going to have a good day. And I'm like, good. So you got to teach them young. I feel like, we had to learn that a little bit later in life. But,
Mhm.
getting into the psychology, what is the most limiting belief that you see holding people back? Like, how does that actually show up in their day-to-day behavior?
You know what, I would say it's the most common belief: I don't deserve it. Most of the people running it in their heads, and it could be related to I don't deserve to eat an ice cream because it has a lot of sugar and I'm not allowed because I have a problem with the weight, for example. Or it could be become I don't deserve to be a coach, I don't deserve to be under the lights, or whatever. So it's lays
Do you
down
do
in
you think,
many
"I don't
areas.
deserve to be" is the same as "I am not good enough
Well,
to be"?
it's usually starting from I don't deserve to be. And then it's like overlays other things which is related to that. Yes, but most of the time,
So
this
that's like
thought
the root.
created, it is a root. And as far as I could see on my clients, most of the time, and myself as well, most of the time, this thought created in the very young age when we kids really don't read properly what's going on with our parents. And if, for example, we've been sitting and playing with something, and then mom called us to eat, for example, for the dinner, but we didn't hear. We were so much in the game and we enjoyed it. And then mom yelling, and then coming into our place and yelling at us and saying like,
Yeah.
"Go, come over." And in this moment, it looks like nothing, but in this moment, we think that we are not allowed to be. We are not allowed because our mom, because of we leave, our mom get angry. And so this is how it starts. It usually starts from very simple thing.
I can absolutely resonate with this and see where you're coming from. So my parents would never elaborate on what was wrong. They would never tell me how they felt, right? I sure you right? And so,
Yeah, we
then
had
we
the
blame
same,
ourselves. It's like, okay,
right?
the children are to be seen, not heard, and this is parents' business, stay out of it. So I do try to elaborate because to your point, it does start at a young age and then we do tend to blame ourselves.
Right, right. Because it's for our psychology, it's much easier to blame ourselves than there's somebody, our parents, who responsible for our life. That we will be safe, that we will be fed, that we will be happy, etc., etc. And in very young age, we feel that we depended by them, and so we not allow ourselves to make them angry, to make them feel bad. And it's much easier to blame ourselves because if I will blame my parents, so how I will go to live alone? I could not
Right.
survive. And that's why we just blame ourselves, and this pattern creates a huge dynamic in our lives, unfortunately.
So you do help people overcome those root causes.
Yes, yes, because in our heads, in our mindset, we have a picture, not a real parents, a picture of our mother and father, or for example, grandparents if they been around us while we've been kids, and the picture would be changed because we're living in, how to say, multidimensional environment,
Yeah.
multidimensional life, and none of thing that we see, that we experience is 100% right. It always has a variety of colors. You can imagine it like if you will take this kind of ball, which has a
Hmm.
lot of shapes, right? And put here the light, you will see that light distracted to different areas. So
Yeah.
this is how every single situation in our life happening. And we look only from here. We don't see all these other lights, all other aspects which actually corresponds to this event. And this is what it is.
Yeah. I we tend to see things in black and white.
Right.
And to your point, I mean, that's why when I had started the Be Human Again project, that's
Uh-huh.
exactly what I was saying. Like, even when we're talking to each other, it's black and white. It's my view versus your view. And exactly what you're saying, there's actually many ways to look at it or view it.
Right.
And we're
Right.
only looking at it our way. But if we were just a little more open-minded and we viewed the whole sphere,
Right.
right, the world would be a
Yes.
much different place.
Yes. Yes.
I like
The
that
the
prop that you
question,
used.
the question that we always better, I suggest to ask yourself, how could it be differently? And this open for you possibility to see uh, on the event from a different perspective. And this is very helpful because, for our brain, it does not matter if the event was real or we created it in our brain. And
Hmm.
that's why the reason why some people can achieve things which others thinks that they not deserve it. It's not because only the trust. It's because this person creating whatever he wants in his mind and trust in whatever he creates. This is the rule. This is how it works. And most of the people, when you say, like, I want to see the rose light in the dark skies, I want to see it.
Yeah.
And other person usually will say you, like, how could you? Well, I can. I can because it's my imagination. I can do whatever I want.
Yep.
And so this is how it works. Yeah.
Yes, our thoughts definitely give us those limiting beliefs, and then it's very cut and dry, but I am with you on this. And it is a core with how I try to live my life right now, and every time I catch my brain, I'm like, "No, no. Okay, meditate for 5 minutes. It's time to meditate." I've read a lot of I love Joe Dispenza's work, if you've ever read any of
Yeah,
his
me
books,
too.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I try to practice meditation a lot. It's hard, but
Yeah.
so, um, what's something
You know,
people are
in your
Yeah, tell me.
situation, it's very, very helpful thing. I use it at all, a lot. Just when your mind going like, if something will happen, etc., etc., and you stop yourself and you say, swish, 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 swish. That's it. It didn't
That's
happen.
it?
That's it. That's it. And just
All
breathe
right.
in
You
and
so
out.
even how about like when you're having anxiety? Like an anxiety attack, does that work? Or is it just more of a thought, a bad thought?
Yes, anxiety attack, it's already created in the body. So first of all, you need to tap away from the body to get your mind be connected because anxiety attack happening when your mind thought, and then it's disconnected from your feelings. So you need to bring it back. And first of all, you have to tap yourself. You know this technique, right? It's
Yes, yes,
well known.
EFT. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And EMDR also working great for that. And then when you get conscious, then you can swish it out. Just swish it out.
I like it. So for our audience, just because we know a lot of people, especially professionals out there working and having burnout, and a lot of people are suffering from anxiety or panic attacks and don't necessarily know what to do in those situations. So it is important to note the mind body connection. For me, it's and your stomach and your brain too, right? So like sometimes even when I get an upset stomach, it creates an anxiety attack.
Yeah,
I might probably have some
yeah.
wires crossed somewhere, but I'm going to try the swishing technique. Thank you for that.
No, no, no. This is true that our brain and stomach, they are connected. I even read some scientific, how would say, paper which bring like a joke, but then later explain the connection that actually what is first when we are in our mom's how to say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is first created, the stomach or the brain? And it's actually find out that the stomach microorganism created first and then the brain. And this is funny. So it
Mm.
is connected. It is connected. And
Mhm.
sometimes you can feel anxiety just because you ate something wrong. Or sometimes you can feel anxiety because of your thoughts and then your stomach get upset. It is connected.
So that I know, right? And so that, a bad thought can cause an upset stomach, just
Yeah.
like bad news, right? Like, oh, I feel sick to my
Right.
stomach that I saw
Right.
this, but the other way around is sometimes hard to piece together. You ate something
Yeah.
and now you're having an anxiety attack, but you don't relate it. So you think something's wrong with my body because you're not thinking
Right.
it's something I ate. It's, hey, my
Right.
heart's
Right.
palpitating now. What's wrong? Am I having a
Yes.
heart
Yes.
attack? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I need to monitor what I'm eating. That's another topic we can have a whole call on, but you are what you eat too, right?
Yes. Yes. But this is true. This is true.
Very true. Okay, so you've helped people double businesses, create income stability, and what I would like to know is what actually shifts first, the strategy or the identity?
Well, this is exactly like with the stomach and the brain. What is first? Because we are going like step by step. Sometimes we are trying to, first of all, change the strategy. Depends on the situation. But sometimes, and actually most of the times, we are starting from changing the behavior, the way how person think about themselves.
Mhm.
And most of the time, whatever I see, this is exactly the thing when we are disconnected from our soul. It's not a spiritual words, but it's really when people come in and saying that they don't know what to do. I don't know where to take my career for the next stage. I want this and this and that. And this is the first point to ask and to see if you connected to your soul. Because when you connected to your soul, it's very easy to distinguish what is your mind say and what you really want. Because what you really want, you always feel in the body because your soul connected to your body. You feel it as extension, as sometimes it's release, sometimes it's like a deep
Yeah.
outside. This is how your body and your soul talking to yourself. But because most of the time we're sitting in our brain, in our thoughts, we disconnected and we have no idea. And that's why it's very difficult to pursue the new career, the new level of income, because we are too far.
Yeah, so we definitely have to make that identity shift first,
Yes,
is what I'm hearing, like,
most of the time, this is what happened. Yeah,
tying back again to the limiting beliefs.
right,
And I'm
right.
not what did you it's um no, hold on, because I wanna say I'm not enough, but I know what it is. I don't deserve it. It
Yeah.
goes back to the I don't deserve it. Yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. Most of the time, and specifically, I don't deserve B.
Mm.
And
Wow.
then you can put something else on top of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do
Yeah.
you think people are more addicted to their patterns than they realize?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I catch it a lot on myself as well, because I told you that I'm the first project.
Yes.
Yes, because, we have, well, according to NLP theory, NLP, neuro linguistic programming,
Yes.
our brain accept, as far as I remember, 1,000 bits of information in a moment, not in a second, in a moment. From these 2,000 bits of information, we accumulate 278 bits, as far as I remember. It's
Wow.
like a memory in a computer. And then all the filters and all the limiting beliefs, etc., all these kind of different filters get into our brain. We can remember in the moment of the time, we can remember only 7 bits, and it's a kind of
Wow.
a telephone number. That's why if you pay attention ever at the situation when you say to somebody else, "Oh, you remember this? You see, it's a new house," and the person say, "No, this is not new house. It built like 2 or 3 months ago." This is exactly because your focus of attention in certain moment being on these 7 beats and something
That's
else.
such a big gap.
It's a huge, yeah. And most of this information from these 2000 beats in a moment get in our unconscious mind.
Mm. Yeah.
So
Speaking of the subconscious mind.
yeah, and that's why I believe that most of us don't really understand how we running unconsciously limiting beliefs, and we are not aware of them.
I mean, the
Yeah.
majority of people are living and leading their lives subconsciously and don't even realize it. They
Yes.
think they're consciously leading, but we're all to an extent leading it subconsciously. And that's why The Power of the Subconscious Mind, love that book by Joseph Murray.
Yes.
But it's very important that you focus on your subconscious thoughts. And I always try to read that book when those thoughts start to come up, swish, 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 read that book. And it reminds myself, and okay, these thoughts are coming up and I need to rewire them. So you mentioned computers earlier, right? The brain is a lot like a processor computer. And
Yes.
so speaking of technology, it's helping people. Do you think it's helping people become like more self-aware or more distracted? In my opinion, it's probably a little bit of both, but depending on how you use it. But I want to hear your thoughts if you actually think it's helpful.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because yeah, it depends how people using it. First of all, people are addicting to technologies anyways, anyhow.
Hmm.
And we really love to watch behind the door, behind the open little bit door, what's going on in others' lives. We love it. And that's why we are very addicted to everything. And yes, I think it's both because if you use it consciously, I mean, you understand how the AI, for example, what attracts you, what the benefits is bring, what the pros and cons, and you using it consciously, then it's a very helpful tool for you. If you using it and trusting for 100% whatever tell you or write or wrote for you, then it's a big problem. Yeah, you could get to the things which very bad for you.
So I agree with you on that. Now, some people would say that I've seen or I've spoke to would say AI is dumbing people down, right? Because there's a lot of automation, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but what are your thoughts? Because again, it's how you use it. You don't necessarily
Yes.
have to use it for everything, but do you think there's just going to come a point that our brains will, like, after using it for so many years, our brains are not where they should be? I mean, is that a possibility?
Well, well, you see, this is exactly what we spoke just a few seconds ago about the NLP and the amount of information that our brain can absorb and interpret. So this is exactly the thing. I think that AI actually very helpful thing because for example, one of my colleagues, she just wrote a book for kids with AI and pictures, which help kids to navigate their inner state and what to
I like
do
that.
if they feeling anxious. So they explain that you need to breathe, and they introduce the heroes there and characters and explaining how to deal with it. And this is cool. This is great too because this person can write the book, which is which is helping other people. This is great, right? But if I will ask AI, for example, for a kind of doctor advice and will follow it, and after that I will get sick, so it's killing me. And it's like taking my brain down. Yes, because I'm a stupid thing, didn't thought and didn't consciously undress to whatever AI suggested.
Yeah, well, while we're on this note, I want to come out here and admit I did used to be that Google person, right? Like I have
Hmm.
symptoms and all of a sudden I have cancer, right? Or
Yeah,
something's wrong with
yeah,
me.
yeah.
I and usually AI has been good with, okay, you like, get some rest, blah blah blah. Well, my
Right.
son had something wrong with him. He had trouble like walking, and it was like this is a life-threatening emergency. You need to go to the ER and all this other stuff. So I packed my bags and I went, and I got there and they were like, he just needs to drink some Gatorade. So you definitely
Yeah.
don't want to rely on
Yes, yes,
that was a
yes,
lesson
yes.
learned for me.
Yes, yes. You had it in your experience. Here we go. This is exactly what I mean.
Yeah. So I want to leave our audience with a couple things before we go. I in your professional opinion, what's one belief that you think people need to drop immediately and one question everyone should be asking themselves right now?
Okay, so belief, I would say that the one that we already spoke, I don't deserve to be. And the question, what is the most common lie you tell to yourself every day?
Mm. Yeah, I got to
Just
think
ask
about that one.
yourself.
Yeah. It's probably buried deep down into the subconscious.
Yes, yes.
That's a great one. Well, listen, Kira, it's such a pleasure as always. If anyone would like to reach out to Kira, she does help people overcome a lot of these beliefs. Like I said, she's helped people build businesses, double their income, and just overcome a lot of those blocks. So you can find her on LinkedIn. Her name is Kira, Kira, Gamalski, Gamolsky. So please feel free to connect with her on LinkedIn, send her a message. And Kira, again, this is one of those conversations that makes you realize it's not always about doing more. It's about understanding what's actually running the show internally, which is the subconscious. And I love that your work isn't just about motivation, it's about behavioral change tied to neuroscience, and it leads to real results. So if you guys got value from this, and I know you did, make sure you connect with Kara. And as always, the biggest advantage you have isn't a strategy, it's authenticity. So we'll see you on the next episode of The Authentic Advantage.